Breaking news about an attack in Afghanistan. We're learning at least 2 Americans are among the 21 people who were killed when a suicide bomber blew himself up outside a restaurant in Kabul. Charlie DâAgata in our London bureau is following the developments of yesterday's attack. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning to you, Anthony and Vanita. Yes, we got that confirmation this morning from the U.S. Embassy in Kabul. At least 2 private U.S. citizens have died moments ago. From our colleagues in Afghanistan, we have learned that they were from the American University in Afghanistan. Here, the Foreign Office said 2 British nationals are also among the dead in one of the worst attacks against foreign civilians since the start of the war. They struck the popular Lebanese restaurant on a busy Friday night. Afghan officials said it started when one suicide bomber blew himself up outside the entrance.
There were apparently, according to our primarily investigation, 3 terrorists. One was able to explode the explosive that he had brought with him, and 2 others were trying to enter the restaurant.
Witnesses said the gunman stormed the restaurant and opened fire on everyone inside. This security guard said people inside were shouting and screaming after every single shot. Desperate customers tried to hide under tables. Americans, Britons, Canadians, and Lebanese were among the 13 foreign victims, according to Afghan officials. The other 8 were Afghans. The International Monetary Fund said its representative was killed. The United Nations confirmed 4 UN employees died in what they called the horrific attack.
Well, as you can imagine, we're very shocked and we're very sad, and it's a very heavy day here for us, for the UN in Afghanistan. We've lost some 4 UN staff members in this attack. You can imagine the effect it's had on staff members here.
It's exactly the effect the Taliban, who claimed responsibility, were aiming for, saying it was in revenge for an airstrike that killed civilians. Although terror attacks are tragically commonplace in Kabul, it's been rare for attackers to penetrate the well-guarded areas frequented by foreigners. The U.S. military came to the assistance of Afghan security officials and emergency teams after the attack, but it may be worth noting that while this is a well-guarded area, like all parts of Kabul, it is secured by Afghan forces with no U.S. military presence to speak of. Anthony, Vanita?
Charlie, you've obviously been to Afghanistan and Kabul many times. So how secure are these sorts of areas and restaurants for the foreign workers and the Afghans who use them?
Well, the security starts in a sort of ring of steel around these neighborhoods. You really don't want to get anybody, an attacker, close to these restaurants. But the fact is that foreigners, journalists, people from the UN, aid workers, they do frequency a handful of restaurants in Kabul. And once you get there, you are searched. There's sort of a breezeway area. They make sure that nobody's carrying any weapons. But all it would take is, as you saw, a suicide bomber to penetrate that area, the entrance, and then for gunmen to go in. It could happen anywhere, but it doesn't stop foreigners from getting their work done. Where the security should be is on the ring around those areas, these neighborhoods where the diplomatic quarters and where foreigners and foreign workers congregate and gather.
Charlie DâAgata in London this morning. Thank you.